Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Marburger, and I'm back with chapter 7 of Alvin Ho, our read aloud. Let's see, where did we leave off? Oh, where they weren't letting him play recess. They were playing Minutemen and Redcoats, and he seems to always be left out at recess simply because he couldn't talk, couldn't be included, or he wasn't being included, I should say. So he kind of left that day feeling rotten about himself. Chapter 7 is titled The Best Way to Avoid School. The best way to avoid school, as everyone knows, is to get sick. But not all sicknesses are created equal. Some are better than others. Tonsillitis, for example, is pretty good. You get all the Italian ice you want. It is my dream to have tonsillitis one day. Appendicitis is good too, but not as good as a burst appendix, which gets you a ride in a wailing ambulance speeding through all the red lights on Route 62 to Emerson Hospital. This happened when Calvin's appendix burst, and our mom found him on the kitchen floor. He has all the luck. The flu is okay, but it's not great. You only get ginger ale and crackers, which is a real ripoff, but you usually get to watch all the cooking shows and cartoons that you want. The common cold, one bad tasting zinc drop, some tissues, and you're back at school the next day. Medical mysteries? Well, if you get a foreign accent syndrome, or barking madness, or squeaking chalk phobia, forget it. You're back in school the same day. So you have to be patient. It's like choosing a car or a house. My mom says that you shouldn't jump at the first offer because a better deal might be right around the corner. And it was. One day, Jules was out with chicken pox. Don't go near Jules's house, Miss P warned our class. It will take 2 weeks for all the blisters to scab over completely, and until then, Jules is highly contagious. Highly contagious? I felt like dancing. I nearly burst like fireworks, but it didn't. I had to wait until after school. It was hard not to go near Jules's house. It's on the way to everything. It is as though Jules's house is a big magnet and I am an iron filling, and every time I so much as step out of my house, I'm yanked towards it just like that. When I finished after school tea with my mom and finally stepped out of my house, that was exactly what happened. I was sucked by such a powerful force towards Jules's house that I could barely even pick up the fat frog in the gutter on my way. And when I got to Jules's house, there was already a line behind the tall bushes in front, just like the line at the cinema when there's a scary movie playing. Hey guys, I said. Shh, hissed Eli. Stay low or Jules's mom will see us and we'll all get sent home. Wait your turn or shove off, said Hobson, who always gives you a choice. This is a top secret undercover operation. We're going in one at a time, or we don't go in at all. Okay, I said, I'll wait. Erg, said the frog in my hands. What's that you got? A frog? Asked Nia. Yep. I set the frog in the grass and everyone leaped around trying to catch for it a while. It was fabulous, and then before I knew it, it was my turn. I caught my frog, rushed around the side of the house, and ran right into Pinky under Jules's window. Watch where you're going, said Pinky. He held out a can, and on the can was a label. 1 minute visit, 50 cents. Jump into bed, $1. You got $1? Pinky asked. I gasped. Normally, Pinky does not speak to me. Usually, I do not show up on his radar. Not one bleep, not even a flicker. But I was a flickering now. I shook my head. I didn't have $1. Well, you got 50 cents? No. I'll take that frog then, said Pinky. No way, I said, tucking the frog into my armpit. It's for Jules. No dollar, no frog, no service, said Pinky. Wait, I said, remembering an unchewed piece of gum in my back pocket. I took it out. It was warm and soft. Pinky grabbed the gum, unwrapped it, and stuffed it into his cheek. Okay, he said, gnawing it. You get a minute. I took my frog and I hopped through Jules's window. Jules was in bed. I gave my frog to Jules. Thanks, said Jules. Said the frog. So where's the chicken? I asked, glancing around Jules's room. was wondering that myself, said Jules. I wish I knew. I was really disappointed. How do you catch chicken pox without first catching a chicken? I came to catch the chicken pox, I said, not just the plain pox. But the plain pox wasn't too shabby. It had turned Jules's head into a potato covered with red eyes. Some eyes were crying, and others were crusty, like sugar on a cookie. It was great. Jules had never looked scarier. There he is in Jules's room, trying to get chicken pox. So what you doing? I asked. Nothing, says Jules. Well, maybe I'm scratching a little. Jules was scratching like crazy. I do not know if Jules is a girl or a boy. Sometimes Jules plays with other boys, and then sometimes Jules plays with the girls. Jules could stand for Julian, or it could stand for Julia. It's hard to tell, and the blisters didn't help either. In fact, they made Jules look like neither boy nor girl. Instead, Jules looked like a good deal of an alien, a real live alien potato fresh off of a UFO. Oh, you're so lucky, I said. I'd love to look like that. Yeah, said Jules. It's really great, except for the itching. Got any that you can't reach? I asked. Yeah, right up the middle of my back, I said. Said Jules, squirming. So I gave Jules a hand. I think it is the one of the rules of being a gentleman, but I don't really know. I can't remember. Ah, thanks, said Jules. Any time, I said. Time's up, Pinky hissed from the window. Dude, I said. Dude, said Jules. Well, none of us caught a chicken or even saw one, so none of us broke out with the chicken pox that day, or the plain pox either. It was a terrible disappointment. Then, a long time later, just when we had forgotten all about Jules and the chicken pox, and none of us were trying to catch anything anymore, a miracle happened. Our art teacher, Mr. Granert, was showing us famous self-portraits one warm afternoon. Frida Kahlo looked a little itchy to me with branches coming out of her hair. Paul Gauguin looked a bit feverish because he was in Tahiti, where it's really hot. And Vincent van Gogh, in his scratchy straw hat, definitely looked itchy. Very itchy. Then got mirrors and brushes so that we could paint our own self-portrait. My self-portrait was going to be a masterpiece, but strangely, I didn't feel like painting. I didn't feel like doing anything at all. You boys look a little strange, said Mr. Gennort. Well, I felt strange. Then I looked in the mirror. Something scary stared back. Ah! Screamed the whole gang, and they were looking in the mirrors too. Then Flea, who was next to me, looked at me. She shrieked, spilling all of her paints. The other girls screamed too. Some ran fast and others ran faster. You would think that we were a bunch of aliens or something. School shut down for 2 weeks and a half after that. There was a story about us in the newspaper so that people as far away as Andover, Massachusetts, which is also hard to spell, read about great chickenpox epidemic in Concord, and we were famous. The newspaper said it. The first victim had been carefully quarantined. All the children had been warned to keep away. How the epidemic ever got started is a complete mystery. It's not a mystery to us, is it, boys and girls? We know how those naughty boys got it. All right, how many of you have ever had chickenpox? You probably haven't, because you've all been vaccinated. I had them when I was little, and they're not fun. And you do feel like an alien. Anyway, I'll see you next time.